That's what's up. So it's gonna be like a conceptual album, like a lot of storytelling, or like I guess background to
Uh,
your music.
no, I kind of want the skits to do more of the storytelling, like with the musical
Okay.
essence of it. I just try to make the feel good music, but also sprinkle like knowledge in between it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there we
I
go.
don't necessarily go straight. It's not commercial is the word I'm using. Conscious. Like I don't necessarily want to go straight conscious because my music I still want to be played in clubs and it's diverse. Like I may have a street record, I may have a female record, and then I may have a conscious record.
Yeah,
So all of the songs gonna be different. So I just kind of let the skits and the route of the songs tell the story versus trying to tell one in the song.
that's what's up. Okay. I'm intrigued.
Man, I've seen a lot of your work, and we definitely gonna talk a lot about that on our podcast today with you. But man, a lot of your work has been very consistent and very A1. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's love. I appreciate that, man.
Your visuals, I remember, man, I had you as one of my music videos when I first started out the Plug podcast, and one of your videos is on there. LOL. Louder.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I had that on there for a while. So it ain't nothing but time and a blessing to finally come full circle and have you on the podcast, man. For real.
Man, that's love, bro. For real. Cause that like LOL too was like an in-depth moment in the career. Cause that's when I like actually started learning to become a real artist and what it takes to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? Even creating that body of
The Godfather.
Back then, had to with the pot. Now I got drip like a mop. Back then, we was at the bottom. Damn, it feels good at the top. Back then, we was in the bleachers. Now we in the field like some crops. Back then, we did not have a lot. Keep working, little nigga, don't stop. Back then, had to with the pot. Now I got drip like a mop. Back then, we was at the bottom. Damn, it feels good at the top. Back then, we was in the bleachers. Now we in the field like some crops. Back then, we did not have a lot. Keep working, little nigga, don't stop. Back then, wanted to be D-Rose. Now niggas spit crack by the kilo. Back then, wanted stuffing Katie's in the Pico. Now I make plays on the west and the east coast. Every nigga burn bread, then he gon' see toast. Dripping like the motherfucker sink broke, baby. If you owe me 4, I better see 4, baby. Put it in the throat, don't wanna see no, baby. Young wild nigga for the judge and the trial, nigga. I ain't bustin' shit down. Cop it by the pound, nigga. Drink a lot of fat, but shorty brought me down. Cook her down, I throw like brown liquor. Hustle one of my niggas. Back then, niggas be the homie. Nowadays, niggas be bitches. Most niggas never get the money. Cause they in competition with their own niggas. Out it in the wood, I don't roll switches. If a nigga posted on the ground, he could down switch you. You don't go to war with the wrong niggas. We the wrong niggas. Fuck a bring her back, a nigga mad like get your own bitches. Plain Jane on the wrist, still dancing. Handicap niggas, yeah, know they can't stand it. Plug with the bricks, nigga done build a mansion. Back then, looking for a front on back then, had it with the pot. Now I got drip like a mop. Back then, we was at the bottom. Damn, it feels good at the top. Back then, we was in the bleachers. Now we in the field like some crops. Back then, we did not have a lot.
Yo, welcome back to the Plug Podcast number 18. I hope you enjoyed that music video from AOA. Like I said, we're going to have him live on the podcast. Wait, too late. He's already live on the Plug Podcast number 18. So let's give it up for a Chicago native. AOA, what up, man? What's going on?
Yo, what up? We here with it. What's good?
Glad to have you a part of the podcast, brother. How you living?
Man, I can't complain at all, man. Trying to stay good through quarantine, you feel me?
Shit, we all are. I hope you staying safe, you and your family and all the above, man, your friends, and definitely your career. You still moving around a little bit, so make sure you stay safe out there as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man, and the same to you and yours.
Yeah. So how's quarantine life been for you? How's things been going since the pandemic, hit, and how's things changed for you?
It slowed down, like, the shows, of course, or whatnot. But it actually gave me a lot of time to sit. Like, my daughter, she lives in Virginia, so I usually get her like summers and holidays and stuff like that. And usually when she is here during the summer, I still have a lot of work to do. So I'm kind of blessed that things slowed down so I can actually spend a lot more time with her in that sense. But I got the home stew, so I ain't stopped recording. I haven't stopped working. Anything that I can do outside of personally or physically rather than being there, I'm still getting to. So it's still working. The only thing is, like, I can't travel as much as I would usually would.
Yeah. So how did you get into rapping? How did you get started into the game, and what made you want to kind of be a rapper? That's one of my favorite questions to ask artists.
What's crazy is that, like, I was real heavy into sports at first, like basketball, football. I even played baseball a little bit, but I wasn't into music, even though it was always around me. Like, my father was a DJ for, like, he did like little parties. He wasn't like a big heavy DJ, but he always had that musical essence. He had a lot of records around. Every time he'd come school me or I'd be with him, he playing different records, and I'm just getting inspiration from that. And not knowing that, I'm singing the songs, I'm learning the song structures, because I never actually like went to school or nothing as far as like how many bars or counts this. I just learned that all off listening. And I had to say I learned that with my pops. And then, like, maybe the little older I got, I started freestyling with my cousins, my brothers, stuff like that. And then when I went to college is actually when I got my first, like, hint that, like, this might be what I want to do. Because I used to freestyle with the homies, and then they actually put me in a contest without me knowing in front of the school. But I ended up winning. It was on some like you know what I'm saying, like some 106 type battle rap type joint.
Yeah.
And I just went in on Buddy and I won. And then from there, like I had niggas at my room trying to battle me every day for the bread and all that. So that just let me know, like, oh, I can really like turn this into some bread and like really do something off of this. So from there, I just started like playing with different songs. I still knew nothing about the business side of being an artist. I just more so like musically started working on it from there.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned your brother being a big influence on your rapping. Your brother did pass, correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He passed with cancer, and right before, like he had started, like me and him was freestyling, but he had really got into the producing aspect of it. He had bought a computer, really started like getting all of the applications for the producers and everything, and then he got sick. So I'm just like, at first, it kind of took me out because we was really getting to a real like close knit bond. Not to say that we wasn't close before, but like music even brought us closer. You know what I'm saying? And then he passed away, but he's still here, and like that's a driving force for me with the music. With everything I do, that he's with.
Definitely, no doubt about that. What you got on for prayers?
With the I guess the business aspect, I kind of want to ask the question of what would you say were some of the toughest hurdles from the get go, just trying to break through the barrier to get into the music industry, and in the professional.
One of my toughest hurdles was like when I found out I had to get my business side in order. For example, I did a BT show. I performed on 106 in Park or whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, I had my song registered, but I didn't make sure that I would get paid for the TV performance.
Oh,
and
wow.
the way I didn't make sure of that is because afterward, I went to the show, did the performance or whatnot, and then I left. So maybe like 3 months later, I'm like, looking out for a check. Like, hey, I perform on TV. I know I'm supposed to get a check or something.
Yeah.
Right?
No
Nothing ever came. Yeah. So when I started backtracking to see what was I supposed to put in order for it to come, for one, I learned that when you perform on TV, your song has to be in their like credits of what the show details about.
Yeah.
So like how like if you watching TV and you go to it on the menu, it has to say in that detail of the show or the credits of the show that you're performing. And if it doesn't say that, then you don't get paid for that.
Wow.
So that's one of the things I learned. So that was one of the hurdles that I would say one of the most important ones that made me like really get on making sure that my music is registered the right way, making sure that all of my avenues is accounted for, and also controlling my traction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of artists, they just throw the music out and people may like it when they hear it, but don't know where to find them, don't know how to get it.
Yeah.
Their song is all over. So it just, I learned things like that and I started putting it into effect.
So,
tell me a little bit more about 106 in Park. How did that feel getting out there in front of that stage and performing for BET? Take us to the beginning when they offered or wanted you to be a part of the show.
So basically how that whole ordeal came about was my cousin, she been supporting me since I like first got into it. So she like, hey, cuz I know you rapping now, but why you ain't on TV? Like, why you ain't, on BT or none of this? And I was like, well, honestly, I don't know how to get on there.
For real.
She was like, I'm going to keep a lookout. So if they have submissions or whatever the case, I'm going to let you know. And she actually did. Maybe like 2 weeks later, she hit me with an email saying, hey, this the email. They taking submissions, whatever, send in a performance video. At that time, I had no performance video for real, but one like little bar performance with my homie, and I did a R&B-ish type song. I was rapping, and he was singing on the hook.
Yeah,
that's all I had. But I thought that would have worked, given that I didn't just want to go in there and just rap. I kind of wanted to mix it up and do like some hip hop with some R&B.
Yeah.
So I sent that in. Once I sent that in, they hit me back maybe like a week later telling me to come audition, and I had to be there probably 2 days after that.
Yeah.
And then I went out
Wow.
to New York,
That's kinda quick.
auditioned, and then they loved it, and
Just went
yeah,
off. Yeah, man.
like
Yeah,
the
I
next
did.
week we was on the show.
Yeah, so I did get to see a clip of it as well of you performing there, and that's definitely cool. Also, Double XL magazine artist to watch.
Yeah,
Man, that's hot. That's definitely
yeah.
hot.
One of my homies in well, I had met him just networking out, but it was a guy in Philly that reached out and he was working with them, and he was just like, "Hey man, we doing like a new feature for the book that Wayne was on, but this was the one a while back."
Yeah.
And yeah, he was just like, "We doing features or whatnot, and I definitely want to feature you." And
Yeah.
I just sent him everything he needed.
And I also saw in your biography, you got some TV credits and stuff like that, like Empire,
Yeah,
City
yeah,
Limits.
yeah. I'm acting a little bit. I'm trying to build it up a little more. Like I done did Empire. I done did September Rain. It's a movie out. I did some web series shows. They get nice views, like 400, 500K views.
Dang, that's what's up.
So yeah, like
So
I be trying to work. I write
yeah, what do
scripts
you
too.
think about that? You got integrate more and more acting into your craft,
Uh,
in the other music side of things.
I definitely want to. Just only cause I know music don't necessarily last forever, and I've always been a fan of like movies as well. Like if you look at like artists like Ice Cube or
Yo.
Ludacris or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like they inspire Will Smith even. They inspirations as well. So once I started tapping into the acting in my videos or whatnot, because I've always did like little scripts or whatever the case for my videos. So I just transferred that over to like real acting, and it started working out naturally for me, and people started being receptive towards it, and I started getting bookings. Like I had a play in June, but of course because of quarantine, it had to get pushed
So
back.
I like to hear this answer. I always get a different one from artists and actors. Which one would you say is more difficult to prepare for, acting or getting onto the stage?
Well, getting onto the stage is rather easy, because it's really just me vibing to my music. And I don't really see the crowd when I get on stage. You know what I'm saying? Acting is more so like it depends on how much time I had to go over the script. And
Yeah.
because some of the things I've acted in been improv, where it was no script and we just had to pull up. They give us a description of the role, they give us the setting, and I just had to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I ain't gonna say they both easy, but with acting, I say it takes a little more for me, and that's only in the sense of because it comes with a lot of more as far as like your facial expressions, your reactions, your timing, all of that. And in performing, it's that too, but it's not so in depth like acting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So definitely, you keep your hands on a lot of different projects as well as you mentioned acting. You also got some clothing going on as well on your website, friend or foe shirt. So if we put the description, the link right now. So definitely check out some of those shirts. How did you come up with friend or foe? How did the shirt come about in that saying?
Well, the Friend of Foe shirts came from the record I got on the A Way the Highway album, The Friend of Foe.
Yeah.
And basically that whole inspiration just came from me dealing with those type of situations at that moment where I didn't know if my friends were literally friends or foe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was going through a lot of like betrayal, backstabbing, the discussions behind the back, just the phoniness, but being in the face and playing the friend, playing the supporter. So I was dealing with that at that time, and I just decided to write a song about it and express how I felt about all of that. And then it just shifted to a record that people was really responsive to. So I was like, well, let me, get the merch going with it too. And that's how the shirt developed.
Look good. Definitely looks good. We're gonna have someone on the Plug podcast soon. So definitely shout out to your creative ways. Let's talk a little bit about your music. I want to say your first album was Hate and Handshakes. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh man, so you
That's like my first real body of work that I put together.
when did you come out with this one, and how did you kind of come up with the Hate and Handshakes?
I came out with it in like 2013. And basically with the whole theme of hating handshakes, it stems from like that friend or foe vibe. You know what I'm saying? Where they shake your hand with it, but it's really hate behind it.
Correct.
And I just thought that was like a real dope title for an album. I had never heard it. And I try to keep things like uniquely that way. For me, I don't want to be like nobody or sound like nobody or do what nobody do for real. So I ain't never heard that title. So when I came up with it, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. But as far as the body of work, like I was moving around all over. Like some of them records I did in Florida, some of the records I did in Chicago, some of the records I did in St. Louis. And I was working with different producers and all of that.
Man, that's wild. Well, what was your creative process like when it came to like, well, I guess even now, like, did you keep those same habits? Like, are you a writer or you just kind of go off the dome?
Well, I kind of switched it up. It's really what I'm feeling at that moment. During that Pacific album, when I linked with producers, they would just probably pull up the beats and I would write the song right then and there and we'll record or whatnot. Now, I'm a little more different in structure. Sometimes it depends on like what I'm feeling at that moment. Sometimes the producer may pull up the beat and I'll write it right then and there. Sometimes I may feel like just going in the booth if we got the time to do that, and just, you know, write the song without writing it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or sometimes like I've been making a lot of melodic music lately. So what I've been focusing on more is the melodies versus the words. So I'll go in, put the melodies that I like down first, and then I will implement the words.
And that kind of brings me to Tory Lanez quote. I know that's a hot name
That's
to
exactly
say right
where
now.
I learned that from.
But yeah, I watched one of his interviews where he was saying a lot of people, they don't care about the melodies first anyways. They care, or I mean, they don't care about the lyrics first. They care more about the melodies. Do you think in like 2020, that's definitely like for every artist, look at that first before you look at the lyrics?
Yes, I definitely think now that people are more receptive. I actually think it's been like that for a while. We just really didn't pay attention to that factor until now, because all of this melodic music that everybody's coming out with, you know what I'm saying, and how people are gravitating towards it. But like, yeah, definitely, that's who I learned how to write melodic songs from. Tory. I watched him on live. He let the people pick the beat. He let people pick the title of the song, and then he just went in there and did like a bunch of different notes and was like, "Oh, I like this."
Doing that on your Instagram live, like showing your creative process, like how he did. Like
I try to. I need to start a lot more because I'm like a close knit person. Like this is when I talk the most, when I'm doing things like this. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I'm really trying to grow to that, showing more of the lifestyle and internet, because I ain't come from that. Like you got everybody that posts guns, that posts where they live at, what they do every day, and all of that. And I just never been one of them type of people.
Yeah, people are nosy. They want, especially for artists like you, they want to know what's going on. You know, they want to know what the latest place you went to, the latest thing you ate, the last time you recorded. They're nosy. You know, we're living in a real, I guess, open, nosy society. You gotta be open, and it's kind of like I always thought that was interesting for like people like you who were able to see like just a couple of years ago how much different it is compared to now, how social media has grown. And that's why I asked that question. I wanted to know if you were open to, still or being able to let people in on your creative process, because that's
I definitely like going live while I'm in the stool or whatever the case may be. Like like I'm definitely more in tune with that now.
Your next album came out was Homecoming. Any
Yeah.
significance behind like the
Homecoming.
name, the title of the album in particular?
So Homecoming, like, okay, Hating Handshakes, the reason that I was so in so many different places was because I was in college and I was like moving things around at that time or whatnot. So then Homecoming is when I stopped going to college and I just said I'm coming home. So I crafted a body of work to just express me coming back to the crib.
That's what's up.
But I also related it to like me going to homecoming. So like the first track, like that's my real OG on there, where she's telling me to wake up and all of that.
What?
The intros.
Yeah, like she came to the stool, did all of that. Like I got my daughter on there. That's when I had just had my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So, or was about to have my daughter rather.
Yeah.
But like I got all of that in the midst of that project.
That's wild, man. That must have been surreal. Just sitting back and re-listening to all that after it was finished.
And is this
Yeah, it was, man. And Quay, I had worked with a producer named Quay. He produced the whole project, including that record, LOL.
There you go. Yeah.
And we just locked in. I would go to his studio. He would pull up the beats. I would do the song right then and there. Like our vibe was that quick.
Damn.
And we knocked out a whole body of work real quick.
Seriously.
Team synergy.
Yeah, seriously. And Louder Liquor definitely being one of the highlights, one of the tracks on there that people gravitate to. Like I mentioned earlier, we had it on our podcast back in 2014, 2015. So shout out to you and that project as well. I do want to get into a little bit more about some more of your projects. Let's go into A Way or The Highway, your most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about this project and it was last summer, correct? 2019, last summer?
Yep.
You put this project out? All
Yep.
right. And as far as this project, how did it come about and some of the artists you got to work with on this project?
All right. Well, A Way or The Highway, I wanted to like take a stance and start to show how diverse I was. So A Way or The Highway, like if you look at Homecoming album, or I had like melodic hooks, but I didn't sing them. Like I wrote them, but I never sung them. Right. So on A Way or The Highway, I started to test those theories, like records like Hurricane or Freaks or even Friend or Foe. You know what I'm saying? I kind of went out of my usual vocal structure. And that was what that A Way or The Highway album was just really putting a stamp on like I can really like get out here. So y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm really diverse with the music. So it's really gonna be me or nothing. Y'all gonna see me or nothing for real. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Some of the artists I worked with on there was like Big Mook. We came out with the joint back then. That was real organic. That was actually the first song me and him ever did. And I've known Mook for a few years, but he was an engineer at first. But he called me, my homie D-Lo called me like, yeah, Mook said, come to the studio, let's do something. Mook called his cousin Ron, the producer back then, up. He made the beat on the spot. We came up with the theme of the song. He was just like, what you want to talk about? I gave him like, you know, the theme of the song, and then we just went from there. And that song came quick. Another one with Clark Airlines. I've known him for a while. Very dope artist. Like Regrets. I was talking about like how a female would regret leaving a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm a package too. You know, usually the females be feeling like they the only package in the situation. Yeah. So that was the song for the guys. Like, you know, hey, I'm the package too.
We heard the voicemail in the beginning of the track as well of her going a little ape shit on you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and that was my homie Nikki. She pulled up to the stool, and I just told her, I had her go back to one of them moments where she was in a situation like that, where, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't really with a guy, but to her, she still was. And she just went in there and delivered that. So that came from like a real place. You feel me?
Very high.
And then joints like Freaks with 300 Rands. He an artist out in Florida where he's in Atlanta 9. He's actually a part of a group called 300 Pounds of Guap. And they just signed a deal as well. But yeah, with me and him, like we would always cross paths from me being in Florida then. And one of my big homies just called me like, why you ain't got no song with Renz? So I'm like, yeah, like I do need a song with Renz. So we just put it together. Like I came up, did the song, and then sent it to him. He did it and sent it right back. What other joint I got on there? Oh, the one with Michi.
You got Eat 'em Up, Eat 'em All Freestyle on there. That's a video we about to go into. Tell us a little bit more. Is it just a freestyle? It's a very short song. You just kick it. Well, where were you in this mental when you came up with this track right here?
For the Eat 'em All?
Yeah.
For the Eat 'em All, that was just a real like off the top experience. I had went to the stool. I was liking how like gamey the beat sound.
Yeah.
And how heavy it came on. So when it did that, I just literally went straight in.
Hell yeah. And you fucking delivered, and then the visual delivered as well. So,
Man, that's love. And we went and shot that in like Chinatown out here at like 11 at night. It looked like we had a lot more set up, but that was like a real quick shot.
Yeah, it definitely did. So can you take the viewers and the listeners to this Eat 'em All Freestyle music video? Take us into it.
This is the Eat 'em All Freestyle. It's off the A-Way the Highway album. You can find it on awayofficial.com, waysworld.com. It's on YouTube. Just type in A-Way Eat 'em All, and you know what I'm saying? We there with it.
Sure. Let's get to this music video. We'll be right back with A-Way. Let's get it.
You dig?
I'm hot all the time, never in my prime. I got book and play the mime, she still on my mind. Yeah, I don't got the time, but this really shine. Yeah, like the sunrise, it's new day of mine. Yeah, trippy sauce, I'm a fucking boss, and my presence cost, need it all. What the fuck you thought for who set it off? On the boss, I'ma fuck them all, then I'm taking off. It's your loss, if you against us though, we don't play it out. What the fuck you mean, me what little nigga, we can get it off. White bed thing clean, little nigga, don't leave shit at all. If you ain't tryna face the judge and stay quiet, then don't get involved. Hit the lick, pick up your bitches, I might give her back to mom. Hottest nigga in the city, she gon' look me up tomorrow. That's his wife, but last night that little bitch let me hit in the car. I do this shit for real, and these rap niggas be rapping bar. Chase blue fake, no advertise. Shot these niggas caviar, eat 'em all. Wait.
Welcome back to the Plug Podcast. It's Plug Podcast number 18 with A-Way. That was the Eat 'em All Freestyle music video. Definitely hope you enjoyed that visual. The link is in the description. Go visit A-Way's page ASAP. So welcome back to podcast number 18 with A-Way. Let's get into a little bit more about your musical influence. Who do you, Chicago's such a rap scene and a hip hop scene. Do you pull from a lot of Chicago rappers?
Yeah, you got drill conscious.
I believe it or not, no.
Yeah.
Like I pulled a lot of inspiration from like the Master P's, the Cash Monies, the you know what I'm saying, the Jay-Z's thing, Rick Ross. You know, I liked how they developed their structure. So it wasn't just about their music for me. It was more so their business aspect.
Yeah.
And how they moved and the times when they delivered. For example, like Ross taught me when you're doing different music, or like for example when he was battling with 50.
Yeah.
Everybody would have thought that he went down when they released the information that he used to be a CEO or whatever this may be, and he's a gangster rapper. But what kept him afloat was him consistently making hits. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? I've learned that from him, and just watch this whole structure. I learned how P was able to build different artists and build a label and have people, you know, coming in as a unit and just things like that. So I pull inspiration from like artists like that. Because musically, I honestly don't even I listen to more R&B than rap.
Nice. Okay. That's definitely intriguing to hear. Definitely from, I mean, you do have, like you said, some of those melodic songs in there as well. So that's good to definitely hear.
Oh man, I've been dying to hear this since I heard you were from the Chi-Town.
Yeah.
I want to know what your thoughts are on my man Yeezy, my man
Oh man.
Kanye. What like I don't know if you heard about what's going on. There's a lot going on with him. He wanted a divorce but I don't want to get into all that stuff. I want to know what you think about the whole presidential run. Like, what's your perspective on all this?
I think with Kanye even thinking that he can actually do it stemmed from America selecting Trump as president,
Yeah.
who's somewhat of an entertainer himself.
Correct.
So that opened the door for Kanye thinking he can do it to me. But on a like deeper end, mental health is wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely think that he should really go talk to somebody, you know, because he expressed himself in all the wrong ways, and that's to the public. You know what I'm saying? Certain things don't need to be out in the public like that.
Exactly.
I still love his music. You know what I'm saying? Even when he switched to the gospel, I was vibing with it. You feel me? But,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, I still think
definitely
that
think
that
he's-
album was hot. I still think it was hot. I don't care what nobody says.
I agree. And what are some of the things that you feel like people misinterpret about Chicago in general and Chicago music? We always just think about Chief Keef, and we think about all the young boys running around killing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that like a misconception, or is that?
Yeah. It is to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I say to that certain extent because even though it's there, to a lot of us here, that shit is normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so my answer would be that we just like anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? People get shot anywhere else. Things can happen anywhere else. It's more about the situations you put yourself in and the people you know what I'm saying, deal with.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Because I mean, you got people that's not into those things that can get killed, and people that is into those things that get killed. But a lot of people think that you just come to Chicago, so you get off the plane, 3 bullets gonna flash, and it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It really, really ain't like that.
Yeah. And the music scene being a lot of drill, hardcore type rap. How do you feel like your rap fits into, you know, that kind of what Chicago is now, like drill type music? How do you feel about your music in comparison?
It doesn't fit in that drill column, which is why I have to like outsource outside of Chicago. Like I have to travel. I have to build different connects in different areas because Chicago is a lot of drill. You know what I'm saying? And they craft is drill. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just that I'm more diverse in my music, but I still play that shit too. You feel me?
Yeah, it's running. It's definitely running.
You ever heard about that quote from Drake where he said you have to kind of like you got to leave like your hometown and impress everyone else for your hometown to recognize you as like the real deal, you know what I mean?
I definitely believe that. Like a lot of people who made it like big, they actually had to do things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless they just had the direct source at home, which a lot of us don't have. You know what I'm saying?
Or you in Atlanta?
Yeah. Now Atlanta, but see, even in Atlanta, you're more connected to a direct source because even those people on the big market are close. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, there's no businesses, there's no people really here like that. You know what I'm saying? That we can reach out to outside of the few label execs that may reside here when they want to get talent or looking for some, but there's nothing really major here that you can go to on a regular basis and network and build with here.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and we seen as well. You got a Change Your Life video shoot coming up this week. Tell us a little bit about this track, the music video concept, and things like that. I enjoyed listening to it. Let's let the listeners hear.
All right, yeah. With Change Your Life, man, that's I would have to say that is one of my most vocal or melodic records. My pitch went real high on there. It was one of the first records I did like that. It's kind of it reminds me of a Spanish record, but it's not a Spanish record. Like I'm talking about the regular shit. But yeah, like definitely when I first got the beat, I came up with that joint just literally riding in the car to go hoop for real. And I did the whole like melody first, and then I flew out to LA. I had a show out in LA right before COVID hit. And I recorded it out there, and it came out of smash. I put my homie, one of Hustle World artists, Ohaji, on it.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
That's what's up. And then the concept of the video is even beautiful. Tell us a little bit more about the concept that you're going with for this track.
So with the concept, given that the song is Change Your Life, and how I'm putting the album together as far as taking the listener back to Chicago in '96. With one of the things that happened was like Obama got elected to Senate. So with that being said, I kind of collaborated that the video shoot in that structure as the Obama Change campaign. Because in the video I'm talking about, or in the song rather, I'm talking about how I can change a female's life from her messing with me. So basically, I'm gonna just turn that into a presidential debate, like, and it's gonna be me versus, whoever the other contender is.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Double entendre right there.
That's what's up. And is this on A-Way or Highway, or is this coming up on an upcoming?
No, this is gonna be on Wade's World. Everything I'm doing now is gonna be on Wade's World. And Wade's World, like, differential from A-Way to Highway. Like A-Way to Highway was more rap with a little bit of melodic, but Wade's World is gonna be full melodic.
Okay,
that's what's up.
And then it like I say, it's gonna bring you back to Chicago in '96 and just explain different elements of things that happened in Chicago and a few that happened like outside of Chicago, but it impacted the entire world.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as this project, you almost done with it? Pretty much complete with this project?
I am about probably 85% done.
Nice.
Man, how long is it taking you so far?
Well, I've started on it. Probably I did the first song that I have on it probably like the end of last year.
Okay. Wow.
And then I did maybe like a lot of songs when I went to LA, and then I did a few since I came back here at the crib. So I got most the songs pretty much done. I just got to do like fine tuning, mixing, mastering.
Yeah.
Putting the whole
you're about to say some Young Thug stuff and be like, yeah, I came in 2 days and did all 20 songs.
Even when I first drop a song, I like putting it in the car and riding to it for like a week. And then I may hear something else I want to add or something that I want to take off or whatever the case may be. So I don't never just go in, record it, and then, oh yeah, that's it. Nah,
so that brings me to another question. How I guess artists who like to refine their music and only release like I don't know, every year or every other year, do you lean more towards them, or do you lean more towards, which is not a diss, but I guess rappers who release a lot more frequently? I'm talking like the Gunnas, the Lil Babies, Da Baby, Young Thug.
I think it depends on like what your traction is like and what your demand is. Like the Baby can get away with it. I mean, like, yeah, the Baby can get away with releasing every week, but eventually it's going, Future kind of shot itself in the foot with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even though he's still respected as like a legend and Future and who he is, I think as far as his sound, it kind of drug it out because he never like really switched it up. He's still literally the same Future right now.
You're not wrong. 2015.
Although we love him for that, you know what I'm saying, it still never gave people a difference with him.
Yeah, so trying to miss him or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He never built up that. But then you got artists like J. Cole where people want to hear more frequently, but they go missing in action. Because I think a lot of the times the listener don't understand too. If a artist takes a while, it's because the artist actually has to live life to give the listener something to speak about. you know what I mean, to hear, to
Yeah.
give the artist something to talk about.
Yeah.
And so if you coming with records like more frequently like that, half of them, more than them, are probably going to be throwaway records, or you're going to be talking about the same things over and over again, and a lot of them are going to sound the same.
Yeah, that's a very good concept as well. Want to speak a little bit about growing up in Chicago. I know it's a little bit different than other places. How was it growing up there for you there in Chicago, growing up?
In Chicago, it was just like a dog eat dog world. You just had to get yours, and if you didn't, you would be on the sideline looking at everybody else get theirs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
you figured that out pretty quick. You mentioned a little bit about playing sports as well. You played some sports. What kind of sports you played?
Basketball. I played football, and I played baseball a little bit.
Okay, so
like until I broke my ankle sliding, and then I was like, I ain't doing this shit no more.
Nah. So what's the highest you went? Did you play any in college or anything like that? Because you did go to school.
With college, I was supposed to play basketball in college, but like I'm only like 5'7", 5'8". Mm-hmm. So when it came to college time, he like, look, you cold.
Yeah.
It's like 6'5", 6'3", bro. So what I want you to do is I want you to practice with us, but you may not necessarily get in the game. So I said, fuck that for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my pops was really pissed off at me because he was like, you could have got in and worked your ass off and, you know what I'm saying, got a playing position. But I just wasn't finna do all that hard work running suicides and all that shit in the morning and all of that. And for no benefit, you know what I'm saying? So,
for real.
Same story. I mean, I did my sophomore year, I played junior college, and then I was gonna try to walk on, but they have practice 5 o'clock in the morning. They run so many miles, all that running. And they're like, oh, you could be a walk on. And I'm like, nah, man, let me just go ahead and do what I gotta do.
Like fuck that. That ain't worth that.
It ain't worth all that running miles. Where you're like, oh. And you like, sit on the bench. You could be like, oh, bro,
for real.
Come on, man, put me in the game. Mm-hmm. So we spoke a little bit about a lot of the artists you already worked with. What are some of the artists that you would like to work with in the future?
Man, like I want to work with a little bit of everybody, man. Like I want to work with Cowboy. I want to work with Dirk.
That's what's up.
Of course, everybody want to work with Drake. But I want to work with like some R&B artists too. Like I used to want to work with R. Kelly, but I can't do that now.
I'm like, Well, that's one hotbed you don't want to jump in right now.
Like you know what I'm saying. He was a musical genius outside.
He is,
shit, you know what I'm saying.
That's such a horrible conflict that some of our best artists are like horrible people. You like, dang, man, you personalize horrible, but this song, like, you killing this shit, man. So that's rough about R. Kelly.
And Lil Durk is on the way. You right. He's on the come up definitely as of late. So I'm pretty sure you up next as well. So you just tap him on the shoulder, bro. You got it.
I know, right? For real.
I know it's only a matter of time before I work with those artists.
Yeah. So last question on my end, I always get artists on here and I always pretty much act the same thing, but it's always different feel. What's your top 5 rappers all time dead or alive?
Top 5 rappers of all time?
Yeah.
We talking about like in what essence? Like lyrically or just overall or what?
Top 5. A-Wave's top 5. Nobody else's. It ain't gonna be Jay.
Wayne.
Yeah, I like Wayne.
Wayne. Jay.
Yeah,
of course.
Drake.
Yeah.
All right.
Good one.
Man, the last 2 is gonna be hard, but definitely Big.
Okay.
And I guess Pop. You know what I'm saying? We talking about like top 5. Yeah,
that's a true 5.
The Mount Rushmore.
I got to cap it at 5.
Yeah, that is the Mount Rushmore. I mean, if you argue anything else outside of that, wiggle room, but that's legit the top 5. I agree. So your music sound is just like ours. What else you got for A-Wave, President?
I mean, I just want to know some, I guess some game. I know you probably want people to pay you or buy your infomercial or whatever for that, like a lot of other rappers are doing these days. But for real, for an upcoming rapper, for an upcoming artist in general, what's the best advice you've heard that you can pass along?
Um, well, an engineer told me this. He said,
Word?
"Hey, if you really want to do this, you got to make all the niggas want to be you and all the bitches want to fuck you." And he
Hey.
told me straight like that. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like I would say to any artist, when you doing something, just like with any craft, you want to be fully knowledgeable on it before you actually try to put it out there. Because a lot of artists shoot themselves in the foot by just throwing their music out, whether it's SoundCloud or whatnot, and they don't own it or anything. And if it blow up, they can't get nothing from it. People don't know who they are. All
Hmm.
type of those measures. So I would just say fully study the game before jumping in it.
I dig that. I dig that.
Definitely shout out to A Way. We appreciate you being a part of the podcast, man.
Oh
How
man, I
can everyone
appreciate
follow
y'all
you,
having
man?
me, bro. It's been
Yeah,
real dope, man.
man, no doubt. And how can the people listening and viewing follow you and get more information on that Ways World coming soon?
Man, y'all can find me and the rest of Hustle Ward at hustlewardrecords.com. Y'all can find my music, my personal music at waysworld.co. That's CO, don't put the M on it. Um, and yeah, we here. My Instagram, Twitter, everything, social media like that is A_way official.
Yes, sir.
Uh, yeah,
Man,
I'm pretty much
y'all
right.
get in there and make sure y'all follow. Make sure y'all follow because we getting the next big up from
For
Chicago.
real.
Man, we appreciate you, A Way, for real. We appreciate you being a part of the podcast. Anything you want to shout out, any shout outs you want to give, any last advice you want to give out to the listeners and viewers?
Man, yeah, definitely. I want to shout out the whole Hustle War Records. That's Michi or Haji, the new artist College, the new producer Juan G. So we got a lot of new music, a lot of new things coming. So yeah, I just want to shout out the gang. I want to shout out y'all for having me, man,
Appreciate
and
it.
putting a platform like this for artists to be able to share their music or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And just to communicate with dope structure.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, man, shout out to Chicago.
That's
Shout out
definitely what's up.
to everything that made me.
That's what's up, man. Hey, more to come from you. When you get that video done, make sure you send it this way so we can put it on the podcast, man.
For
I
real.
got you. I'm gonna be dropping probably in like sometime mid August. So I'm gonna definitely
Yeah,
send y'all the first preview. You know what I'm saying?
sir. Yes,
As soon as it's done, the first single gonna be Scars.
sir.
In that single, I'm talking about how me and my sister haven't spoken 2 years and just
Oh,
things that
okay.
cut me
Real
over
life stuff.
time, but I healed from, and they became scars and just things of that nature. So
Ooh.
this album, Ways World, is really bringing people into my world. That stuff that I said I wasn't really open with at first,
Yeah,
you know, becoming an artist, like I'm talking about it now. So
yeah. Well, we're gonna get you back on here to talk about that album a little bit more.
For
Ain't
sure.
no question
let's
about
get it.
that, man. So appreciate you, A Way, being a part of the podcast. Appreciate President Q.
You already know.
If y'all haven't been plugged in, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Plug Podcast. This is podcast number 18. We out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.